So once again, I'm bringing you guys another really try-hard competitive match, courtesy of Matt Yodi. It's a really good, exciting match. I hope you guys enjoyed as much as I did watching it. And the topic of this commentary is kind of focused on friendships, relationships and cliques. And it's kind of going to focus on the online community space. I'll be kind of talking about the Uncharted community. At the same time, I like to remind you guys, these sort of, things aren't really unique to the Uncharted community. I feel like some people feel like the Uncharted community is special, one of a kind, or something. But if you've been a part of any online gaming community in particular, just a gaming community, even if it's not really online based, like a fighting community or whatever, these sort of things, patterns happen there as well. It's not particularly unique to the Uncharted community. And right off the bat, I guess I'm going to focus on, the cliques or groups of people, since that's what cliques are, groups of people, whatever. And I feel like certain people have this inherent negative feel towards cliques. And I think it kind of has to do with the fact that, when you think of cliques, you think of, back in the day with high school with the jocks and the nerds and the bandies or whatever. But, cliques or groups of people kind of permeate in just about any atmosphere. Humans inherently, like to group up in people. We're naturally social creatures. It's perfectly natural. I remember being in college, they were still cliques or whatever, and I'm sure if even after past that, you're going to be in a circle of friends or whatever. It's just naturally occurring thing, and it isn't really a bad thing, except there is one sort of downside to it that I've observed is a lot of time these groups of people are judged based on the group in general and not by individuals. And sometimes this stems into certain conflicts with other groups of people. For example, there might be one person in this one group that might not like one person in the other group, so inherently they're going to pretty much hate that entire group in general, though. The real beef is only with that one person. They don't really even have a really good reason to dislike the rest of the group. They simply do just via, I guess, guilt via association or something. That's literally the only reason they don't like it. I think that's the one real downside with cliques or groups of people, and I'm sure you guys have observed this or something. If you guys have your own little circle of friends, you've observed, literally these little rivalries between these groups of people over like the dumbest shit in general, although not everyone honestly might be on the same page. But people are kind of just grouped together. They're just judged. It's just human nature. It's a little bit more simple to group things together, sort them out or whatever. But it's not always the most effective way to judge and analyze a situation. Like I said, this might lead to conflicts, and I think that's the inherently bad side of cliques or whatever. Just grouping people together and jumping to conclusions. It's just a really stupid and negative thing in my opinion. But cliques are not really inherently a bad thing. I mean, sometimes it just brings a lot of common-minded people together, and I think it's not really a bad thing. Fraternities, frat houses, these aren't really necessarily a bad thing, honestly. Though some people might view it as such. And I think the next, thing I'm going to cover, I guess, is certain people, not just in Uncharted or whatever, but I guess I'll focus on Uncharted, is certain people in the Uncharted community, I feel like they're super try-hard ass social. Like, they legit take the social aspect of online gaming, which is, a big part of online gaming now, a bit too seriously or to the next level or whatever. And I'll give you an example. I remember back when I was on Frag Nation or whatever, I would go there, check the ladder, see if my team had any challenges or whatever. And there was like this little thing. It was like a battle box, I think that was called. But it was basically just chat box on the side of the ladder. I remember thinking the point of it was, to like, quickly set up matches or something between two teams. I hardly ever used it, but there were certain people in that little chat that were there like every day, constantly soliciting and talking about like the dumbest shit that didn't even relate to Uncharted, the game in general. Like people were talking about how their school day was, or they'd be talking about people in Uncharted or something. Like the topics in that little battle box were literally ridiculously random. Yet the people who were there were pretty consistent. Like they were pretty much there on a day-to-day basis talking to each other. And I really found it baffling that, I don't know, that little box next to the ladder kind of devolved to. And of course these people eventually, seeped into, the Frag Nation forums or whatever. And for those who know me, I'm certainly no stranger to, posting on forums or whatever. At the same time, I don't really feel the need to waste my time, dilly-dallying with little idle chat. If I have something to say, I say it. And for those who've seen my history with posting on the Nighthawk forums, I guess, if I have something to say, it's usually this big-ass novel. Like I said, if I have something to say, I'll say it. And it's usually, if I have something to say, I have a lot to say, I guess. That's what I'm trying to say. But some people literally, just go here and there, discussing with just about every little person, being all social and stuff. And I'm not saying being social is a bad thing. At the same time, I feel like they don't really, I don't know, look at it from a certain perspective, because like I said, I've been a part of previous online communities. I used to be really heavy into Counter-Strike or whatever, Battlefield or what have you. And I feel like they don't really understand the model of how, social online gaming aspects work with people, because one thing I remember, there was quite a few people I used to play Counter-Strike with, but ultimately after it was all said and done, we all moved on, I really only came away with, two friends. And one I knew in real life, so that's pretty much a given. And the other was basically, like I said, an online gaming friend or whatever. I met him through Counter-Strike, and we still continue to be friends to this day, and we always got along when we played in Counter-Strike, and we continued to be friends, and we had a really good relationship. And I think that's a pretty good model that some people should really, keep a mind on, because I don't know, like, you're not really going to, remember these people. They're not going to be there forever. Uncharted dies off, whatever. People are going to disappear and move on. And yet these people try so damn hard to be social. And I just find this fruitless and kind of pointless. But I mean, they'll probably continue to be really social and outgoing, whatever. And like I said, it's not really a bad thing. I just feel like they don't really understand the long run, how I don't know, pointless it kind of may be to them. And in terms of Uncharted, I can give you another really good example. There's one person I used to play Uncharted with all the time, and whatever. And we really got along really well, or whatever. And you'll probably be seeing more of this person in the future. Like I said, I have a really good relationship with her, and we get along quite well. We play other games at the same time, and I think we've been in this relationship for about, I don't know, 3-ish years, basically. Honestly, I probably forgot our anniversary, and I'm sure she'll probably kill me for it, but like I said, like, out of all those people in Uncharted, I literally came away with one person that I really connected with and continued to on a daily basis. And I feel like some people really need to keep this in mind, that all these people you're being really social and outgoing to, it's not really gonna, I don't know, be that, I don't know, important, I guess. And I feel like, because, I don't know, these people are pretty new to the Uncharted community, they don't really understand this. They're pretty inexperienced. They're like, I don't know, online gaming noobs or something, and they're just, super outgoing and social and tryhardy in this aspect. I just don't really understand why so much. And like I said, I gave a few examples, but another really good example is on PSN. I've noticed that there's certain people, they create the little voice chats, and they have these little text chats, and they talk to each other, maybe frequently on a daily basis or something. And I don't really understand how people can do that, because first of all, PSN is probably the worst platform for, I don't know, it's a good platform for online gaming, but in terms of online socializing, it is probably the crappiest platform for that I've ever seen. Because whereas Xbox Live, you can create this little party chat, and like, I could be playing one game and you could be playing another game, but we could still be talking to each other. But in PSN, you have to create this really crappy ass voice chat thing, and you can't really do anything. You're just sitting there. I think you can send messages or something, and that's about it. And you're just in this really crappy voice chat talking to these people. And I'm pretty surprised people do this, because I don't really understand why these kids just get Skype and do it on there. They don't have a laptop or something. And of course, people do text chats and stuff, and I've seen it. They create those little chats and text chats, and they start rambling on about really weird shit. And may it be Uncharted, if they're the Uncharted community, or something else entirely. It's pretty strange that people actually have little text chats and then going in on a daily basis, because I don't know, the network for it is so crappy, and PSN is just a really shitty platform for socializing in general. In terms of the social aspect of online gaming, PSN pretty much falls flat on its face in terms of that. Whereas, Xbox Live is a really good platform, and of course PC, whatever. Yet, like I said, there are people on PSN who really are this social tryhardy, and I just don't really get why. Because, like I said, in the long run, I mean, what's it really going to provide you? Like, one or two friends tops? I mean, granted, you should be thankful if you come away with one or two really good friends, but some of these people act like they're going to come away with, I don't know, 10 really amazing friends that aren't going to disappear, a few years down the road after they move on, whatever. And I really just don't get the point of it. But I mean, they're going to be that way, and it is what it is. And I think the next thing that kind of irks me with the online communities or whatever is attention whores. And like I said, some people might think that might inherently mean, oh man, that's females. No. An attention whore can be a guy too. It's perfectly possible for a guy to be an attention whore. And I feel like there's different types of attention whores, where one thing that might come inherently to your mind, I guess, is if attention whore, they run their mouth, they talk about themselves all the time, they need to be just talking to someone at all times. That's one way of being an attention whore, I guess. At the same time, I've seen some people who are kind of attention whores, but they're pretty subtle and clever about it. Good way of hiding it or whatever. But like I said, I don't really understand. In the same vein as the previous, topic I just kind of ran over, what's the point in being such an attention whore? What do you really get out of it in the long run? I don't really understand why they're such attention whores. And I think another thing that kind of bothers me that I see a lot is a lot of dick riders. I guess that might hurt some people's feelings over dick riders, sheep haters, whatever, what have you. And first of all, there's nothing wrong with being a fan of anything in particular, but there's a big difference between being a fan of something and being a dick rider. If you're a fan of something, you enjoy something, may it be a person or the person's work or certain like idea or whatever, but you can admit when there's a wrong or a fault with it. Whereas if you're a dick rider, you will fucking virtually suck that shit off, and even if it like fucking blows up a country or says something completely stupid and irrational, you will still side with it. Like I said, there's a huge difference between being a fan of Dick Rider, and honestly, if you've been called a Dick Rider, chances are you are. You just haven't accepted it, because being called a dick rider is a pretty serious accusation, because that's pretty much an extreme right there of fandom. Dick riding or whatever is the extreme of fandom, basically. And sheep are kind of the same thing. They kind of just mindlessly follow an ideal or whatever a person says, and I really just don't understand how people can really be sheep or whatever. They only have their own train of thought or whatever. Whereas, I don't know, like, I personally, I am a fan of quite a few things. At the same time, I always like to question things, look at it from different perspectives. Hence why I always like to, tell you guys at the end of my videos, leave a comment or whatever, because I don't really understand the point of liking a video or whatever. And like I said, I appreciate you guys watching my videos or whatever, the few subscribers I have, what have you. But I do appreciate you guys, taking the time and watching and listening to my videos. At the same time, the only thing I really ever ask of you guys is, comment, leave your thoughts below or whatever, because I think that's important. And right here, Matt Yodi just fucking no-scope beasted the shit out of MDB Poems. I had to just interrupt myself right there because it was so fucking damn beastly. MDB just got shit on right here. And I think MDB is going to get pooped on again. Right here, I mean, MDB Pawn right there, no scope fucking shitting on with the dragon. That was some serious business. I mean, MDB just got the fucking D right there. I just had to interrupt myself. It was so nasty. Anyway, like I was saying, I really appreciate you guys, watching my videos or whatever. And I like to bring you guys, some certain type of, gameplay or whatever, try hardy, competitive, exciting matches. And I always like to have something to talk about. At the same time, I encourage people to leave their thoughts and comments for basically the reason I don't really like sheep. Like, I like people to give some feedback. I like a discussion. I like you guys to keep an open mind. If I say something, don't take my word for it. I always encourage, discussion, questioning things, because that's basically what I do. I don't take one person's word for it or something. That's basically what a sheep is, and I always encourage people to keep an open mind, be intelligent. And personally, I'd rather have a smaller subscription base of, intelligent users than have a big ass YouTube channel with a bunch of fucking sheep mindless buffoons just, constantly sucking me off or some shit. I just don't really understand how people can behave like that. And me personally, I prefer having, discussing things with intelligent people who keep an open mind and like to question things, in the proper manner. And I like to encourage you guys, respect other people's opinions just as much as you respect mine or whatever. Unless, of course, something's incredibly stupid. If somebody says something incredibly brainless and stupid and you feel it's just like they're fucking buffoons or whatever. I'm using that word quite a bit. I kind of like it. Starting to use it. I don't know why. Anyway, if you really feel like someone's like an idiot or buffoon or whatever, and they really have nothing to say, I guess you shouldn't respect their opinion, but I think inherently you should respect everyone's opinion equally, and they'll respect yours if they're an intelligent individual. And I think that's the most important thing I think you should come away with. In terms of, how you treat people, you should definitely respect everyone's opinion. Always keep an open mind, don't just take someone's word for it. Don't be a sheep, basically, because that really irks me when people are just blindless sheep. And it's not just in Uncharted, it's on YouTube. I've seen channels with people literally commenting being brainless sheep, and I really hate that drone-ass mentality. It really irks me. And I think that's kind of about it for this, commentary. I guess I kind of focused on, the social aspects. I've seen in Uncharted, I've seen in other online communities. Like I said, I've seen some COD stuff, some fighting game stuff. And if you go on Twitch, which is a really awesome network, those who haven't been on Twitch, you probably have. This really cool network where you go there and you can watch people, and there's little chats on the side. And like I said, I've observed how people behave there, and it's not too far off from the Uncharted community, because some people think, oh, this is a tiny little unique Uncharted community. No, I've seen, the exact same type of people, in the Call of Duty community, in the fighting community or whatever, Street Fighter. And it's just something that you're going to have to get used to, especially going forward, since online gaming is going to be a huge thing, and the social aspect of it is going to be a huge thing. And I'd like to remind you guys to be intelligent, a little bit more smart about it. And that's about it for this commentary. Hope you guys enjoyed the match. Leave your thoughts and comments below on, friendships, relationships, and cliques or whatever. And I'll see you guys later. Peace.